Alright folks, and welcome to Gridiron Queensland Week 13, the final week of regular season here in Gridiron Queensland in the Southeast Queensland competition. We've got the final round of games for live stream, a doubleheader tonight coming to you from Hyde Park here in Regis Park in Logan City. Both games holding playoff ramifications. Let's take a look at the men's ladder right now. Take a look at how the next two games will play out and how they will affect playoff standings. You can see the Rhinos and the Stingrays. That's the two teams they're playing in game one today. First versus third. The situation is Rhinos, if they win, they will hold on to the number one spot and they will be the number one seed heading into the playoffs next week at Sunshine Coast. The Stingrays, however, sitting at 7 wins, 2 losses, but also on 14 points, tied with the Ravens, who are on a bye this week. If they win this week, obviously that puts two teams on 16 points. They would have to win by 21 points or more because the tiebreaker will go to head-to-head. The Rhinos already have beaten the Stingrays once this year. Earlier in the season, they won by 20 points. Therefore, the Stingrays would have to have a 21-point victory to take first place away from them, move Rhinos down to second, Ravens into third. We will talk more about the ramifications for fourth later on. A quick look at the women's scoreboard there. I have just been notified today officially that we're actually having a 4-team playoff this year compared to last year where the first seed team went straight to the Sun Bowl. That won't be the case this year. It will be Thunder vs Raptors, Stingrays vs Ravens next week on Sunday. And by Sunday, I mean Saturday. My apologies. Final numbers, it will the juniors and Colts. The Stingrays undefeated through the season there. The Rhinos just went down to the Thunder right now. So the Rhinos will finish in second place despite the loss. Thunder push up to 9 points down. The Ravens will sneak in at fourth place. Raptors unable to grab a win this season, so they'll be watching it from the sidelines. But the Stingrays looking to make it 6 straight years in a row as Colts champions. So right now we've got the captains going out for the coin toss here. First plays third here, and just a kind of look at the final table, which is the juniors. The Stingrays, like in the Colts division, undefeated 10 from 10. Spartans not far behind them, 6 wins, 3 losses. Bengals 4-5, and the Rhinos 3-6. Raptors looking towards next season. But yes, in the men's competition here this evening at Hyde Park, coin toss underway here. Winner, Jack Lowe, Cheyenne James, Ryan Glass, and the captains for the number 1 ranked Brisbane Rhinos, having their first loss of the season to the Ravens just a couple of weeks ago. In a very, very close game, John Booker, well, he was booked to go 2 years with the Brisbane Rhinos. I'm unsure of what his future looks like beyond 2019, but right now the eyes are on the Sun Bowl, particularly the men's Sun Bowl that he left at East Leagues Club last season. Looking to rectify that at Dolphin Oval towards the back end of the month. Right now he's having a very serious conversation with his squad and getting their mindset back and on point. The Rhinos have won the toss and they've elected to declare. The Stingrays, however, they're coming off a loss to the Ravens last week over at Kitchener Park. The Ravens put a bit of a score on them by the end of it there. That's after quarterback Damien Malloy went down with a very big gash to his, I believe it was his right shin there. They were worried it was going to be a fracture, but after going to the hospital, found out it was just a really, really deep cut caused by the face mask of someone trying to cut block him. But he's back. He's wearing his number 6 jersey, and the question remains of, is he a quarterback? Is he a linebacker? Is he both? So naturally, with the deferral by the Rhinos, the Stingrays will take the ball here in the first half, so we will soon see whether Malloy will be taking snaps under center. Kenny Andres bringing you the action today. Thank you for joining us here on live streaming Brisbane's production of Week 13 of Gridiron Queensland. My man Paul Mills operating the stream and the camera for your vision this week, as he has been all season long, as he will throughout the playoffs. And of course, our 2019 Sun Bowl. Here we are from Hyde Park, home of the Logan City Bears and the Logan City Football Club and their host of teams. Hopefully they'll be getting a women's team back amongst it in the seasons to come. A couple of key inactives I've been given up prior to the game for the Stingrays. No Scott Bice, the linebacker. No Jordan Appy lurking in the secondary. Tommy Torzok, their kicker and punter, not available today. So in comes Reese Perkins at both of those positions. William Mahe will miss him from the defensive backfield. Lewis Carroll's away on the D-line. Hitz Williams still on holidays. He won't be around. Colin Kluger will be an absentee from their receiving corps. And Ryan Newton still unable to return to the field following a hamstring injury. He's hoping to make playoffs. Top of the Rhinos, we'll go through that after the kickoff. Here we go, week 13. About to be underway here in the men's division. Doubleheader here from Hyde Park this evening. This will be a fielder from Jordan Gardner, who had a great game last week against the Ravens. Had a huge 50-yard touchdown. Was damaging, particularly in the first half. Did run out of gas, it appeared, in the second half. Couldn't quite be as damaging. He was coming back from the flu, though. You'd like to think 7 days post from that, he has, well, he should have returned to 100% health. And for the Stingrays, faithful, you hope that is correct. First down, and the ball will be spotted at the 21. 100-yard field here at Hyde Park, so no maths necessary. And Malloy will start at quarterback. James Taylor behind him. We've got a fullback in Lance Tonakilo who will lead block. James Taylor will push forward for a couple of hard yards. Maybe picks up 2 on the first down carry. There's a John Booker on your screen. The master stroke to bring him for the Rhinos has yielded plenty of success. Obviously a men's Sun Bowl last year, as junior Sun Bowl title. Colts had a great season. All 3 teams back in the playoffs this year again. Second down and 8. James Taylor still in the backfield with Malloy. Tonga Kilo moves off the field. Now that's 85 and Paludan. Moves over to the right side. They'll run speed option to the right. Pitches it out to JT, and JT might have gone back to the line. We'll be looking at 3rd and 8, the first third down conversion of the day for the Gold Coast Stingrays.
Ready for war, baby. Let's go alert. Return alert.
Last time I was Hyde Park, I was calling from the comfort of the LSB mobile. This time I've jumped up the scaffolding provided by Graham Spur here, so I've got perfect view of the field here and exposed to the elements. 3rd down, and actually ends up being closer to 3rd and 7. Paludan motions right to left. He'll be underneath, but they'll give it to Napier over the middle. That's good for a first down. A great catch from Dylan Napier to open his day. First completion of the day there for Malloy. And they'll move the chains on 3rd down. See, interesting news is I was told Ernest Moore was a scratch for this game. Right now, you would usually be starting on the defensive side of the ball as James Taylor gets called upon again moving that pile. He's grabbed 3 tough yards there. But Ernest Moore, he may not be playing, but he's kitted up. He's part of this team, and he's certainly leading the team in banter. Actually, kind of low-key hoping that you can hear some of it on camera when he lets it fly. You see the Rhinos sideline there, and I tell you what, looking a little slim this week. They are missing a couple of key players. I will go through some of those now. As I said, Ernest Moore, Gonzalo Lugo, no longer around for a little while. A couple of question marks over some of their starters. Sebastian Gorton's missing for the time being, has been missing for the last couple of weeks based on his professional commitments. Paddy Schweikitz no longer in the receiving corps. Paddy Welsh has been gone for the season. Jackson Bro and Anthony Hearn missing from the defensive backfield. He had a great game against the Ravens. Picked off Stegman, took it back a good 40 yards. Also Jay Smolarski, another one missing from that defensive backfield. One of the Polish players on this team. And tell you what, our broadcast today might be lacking of the UK community because neither of the British imports in Phil Newport or Kyle Jovier on the field today. Both of them scratched. Newport looks like he could be out for some time. Not sure on the status of Jovier. But those guys have been really starting to develop some chemistry with quarterback Brendan Gwinner. I'll certainly miss them once the offense takes the field. Back deep for the Rhinos is called a Shanks. Played free safety with the Spartans in his junior years. Has been a wide receiver, though, for the Rhinos in the men's comp. Now asked to do both duties, and Matautia laying the lumber. Over the top, underneath, I think that was Jack Lowe as well contributing. Stuffing on second down. No, it was Matautia dropping that shoulder, and that sets him up for third down again. 1 from 1 on third downs on this drive. Third down now, looking at 3rd and 7. They converted this distance last time. Wow, going on 3rd and 7, they ran back to the ground. Obviously treating this as 4th down territory, but then have to reconsider that after James Taylor gets taken down for a loss of 4. Look at that on replay there. I almost think that might be a generous spot. They had Tonga Kilo went to block. They wanted to go out to the zone to the left, but a blitzing Rhinos at defense takes them down for a loss. Now we've got 4th and 11 on the field and a Rhino down. It looks like it might be Big Joe Tumavave. I think. Nope, Tumavave is right in front of me, so that's not Big Joe. Both the Jack Lowe's jump off the field. Kalishaw jumps on, out a bit of pass rush, possibly in this 4th down situation. The Rhinos are actually treating it as if it's going to be a punt. James is back at punt returner. The Rhino in question is still down. Haven't been able to identify a number yet.
Let's get it offense. Let's go.
Might be able to see on the screen there. Number 69. That might be Alex Gray. Jumping on the field. I hadn't seen a whole much of him this season because he's primarily been coaching the former JUCO player, but doesn't last a whole lot. Doesn't last a whole lot of plays this week. Getting the start, and now he's coming off the field. It appears he might be back to coaching duties faster than he intended. Carried off the field there from Thomas Pacina and Joe Tumavave. 2 veteran Rhinos there. There'll be a substitution there. Justin Burke, who I thought was just coaching. The old fella's kitted up and he's back on the field. Former player, well, I guess former coach, and also former referee. More people might know him as nowadays, but GQ stalwart. He's now on the special teams unit. James, as I mentioned earlier, back at the 29 to field this punt by Reese Perkins, kicking in place of Tommy Terzok. A usual kicker before Tommy came around, and it's a good one, but will it sit up for him? Will it sit up for him? The special teams unit will assure this won't hit the end zone. A great first punt there by Reese Perkins. Ball down at the 2. And actually they'll take it back, I think, at the 3, the official marking. Great first punt from Reese Perkins. Another absence as well as number 62, Brendan Oswin. Wasn't given a reason why, but the experienced and more recently European offensive tackle, serving as the role of offensive line coach today, it would appear. And now, Brandon Gwinner from the shadow of his own goalpost will give it to Jeremiah Gates to start off their day. That is 2 people they can reliably count on being here this afternoon. There'll be a lot of firepower taken out of the defensive side of the ball. But Cheyenne James, Calder Shanks, who's developed into a nice deep threat for him. And of course, Jeremiah Gates, who's taken a lot of their target share and carries for 2019. He's still ever present in the backfield alongside Gwinner. James Kalishaw in as a fullback as well. Cheyenne James, orbit motion, but it'll be a gift to Jeremiah Gates, who's found plenty of space. He cuts it up the left-hand side to the 40 is now past the 40 and across halfway. And that'll be a solid 45-yard gain there for Jeremiah Gates on his second carry of the day. Big fella finding some space there. They used Cheyenne James for a bit of misdirection. That held the defensive back, the nickel back out there, and Jeremiah Gates just running past Jamal Sinapati, who eventually runs him out of bounds. Jamal Sinapati is no slouch. Gates showing off some jets there. into Rhinos territory, Stingray territory now. Ball up there. Stingray 45. Gwinner takes a snap at his 50, drops back 3 steps, looking for Calishaw. Calishaw's got it underneath with room to spare. He's racing Perkins and the linebacker in Lagerstrom, and he picks up a great catch there, runs it out of bounds around the 30. Officially marked out at the 32. And just a couple of clear out routes there from Shanks and Cheyenne James, and the GQ treasurer grabs the underneath pass and takes the room to move with it. Out wide there, Aaron Verbakel, who's grabbing a few more snaps this week, will line up a wide receiver. They won't go to him, they'll go to Shanks on the right side. It's youngster versus youngster. Shanks catching a slant over Paludan. Paludan kept quiet against the Ravens. Had 1 key catch and otherwise had a very quiet day. Did more of his work on the defensive side of the ball. Nil all still, first quarter. The Stingrays punted after converting a first down. Couldn't get past halfway though. And now Winner and Jeremiah Gates, who got them this good field position, is looking to punch it in, but we stopped 2 yards short. They'll get first and goal from the 3. On the tackle there, Lagerstrom, who was very busy last week when he stepped in for Malloy. Obviously getting the start this week with Malloy being kept to quarterback duties, it would appear. Reese Perkins out at outside linebacker. Christian Suarez and a nickel. He's matched up against Cheyenne James. And we might have a false start here, and that would be, nope, a timeout. Coach Booker didn't like the alignment, something wrong. Takes their first timeout of the half. See big Jordan Moka there, the right tackle. Golden Shanks, the theme of this Rhinos team. I've harped on it all season long as the youth going deep into the Colts ranks and taking the best of the Colts because simply they've earned the job. They've outplayed a lot of their senior counterparts, and Coach Booker happy to play the best players in practice, and that happens to be people under the age of 19. Of course, that has affected their Colts rank. Their Colts probably could have been a lot more dominant this year if their top-fledged talent was playing down there. The Rhinos done the right thing, though. They made a point of that in the first play of the game, and I'll come back to that after this play here. On first and goal, Calishaw was in motion. They'll give it to Gates, who lowers the shoulder and can't cross the plane. We'll have second and goal from less than the length of a football away. Probably got a bit too low there, Gates. No doubt they will probably go back to him again on second and goal. But yes, obviously the rule is for any Colts to play men's, the Colts player have to have participated in the Colts game of that round before they can contribute to the men's. Of course, the Ravens learnt that the hard way, being docked 2 competition points for that. But the Rhinos, just to make sure of it, they put every Colt who was going to be playing the men's game in the first offensive play of the game, took a kneel. So everyone knew they had participated in that game. Cheeky, sure, but very, very legal. Jeremiah Gates again bouncing this to the outside. Ball on the right arm, though. He couldn't stiff arm Lagerstrom. Lagerstrom took him down again, inches short of the goal line. We'll have third and goal. And I don't know if this is a fundamental error here, if that run was supposed to grow across the face of a Gwinner there, but obviously, usually running backs will have the ball to their outside arm, allowing them to fend off any inside defenders. It wasn't the case in this particular instance. Of course, that changes a bit more nowadays with all these different crazy running plays with different counters and jet sweeps and whatnot that have running backs moving all different types of directions behind the line of scrimmage. interesting call here. The Stingrays had an option to move the Rhinos back 5 yards. Instead, they've declined it. We'll take the tackle, and now we've got 3rd and goal a yard away. 3rd and goal from the 1. Gwinner puts Cowlishaw in motion. They'll run speed option. Gwinner has scored quite a handful of touchdowns himself on the ground. He has another to the ledger. There's our first score of the day. Brandon Gwinner running it in from a yard out on 3rd and goal. Touchdown on Rhinos. And that is something they've really installed with Gwinner coming in 2019. An established runner, more so than, say, Christian Strong from a season ago, although Christian wasn't a bad athlete, but Gwinner is definitely probably the more comfortable runner between the two of them, particularly from goal line situations. And what have we got here to stop the PAT? A false start, so they'll kick this from a little further out now. Or perhaps they consider going for 2. This kick becomes a little more difficult for, I think that is Ross setting up the kick. It's down the middle, add the extras. And Price, who I think has taken over the kicking duties from the injured Phil Newport, makes no mistake, adds the extras, and now we've got 7-0 to open the first quarter. One touchdown inside the left pylon.
At the moment, you're lining up really flat. You can come back a little bit like
Game 1 of a doubleheader this afternoon out of Hyde Park, home of the Logan City Gridiron Club. Sees the Rhinos take the first lead of the game at 7-0. Gwinner from a yard out. Perkins is back to return, and this will bounce before going to the goal line. Perkins will have a bit of work to do. The Rhinos could earn themselves some solid field position here, and Perkins does pretty good considering getting the ball back to the 20, and that's where Malloy and his offense will set up. So yes, for those who just tuned in, Malloy, despite his big cut to his right leg last game, he will be resuming at quarterback, has so for the first opening drive. It was a valiant effort by Kanan Tompkins, who came in his first proper experience as a senior quarterback. Threw a pick 6, but didn't look out of place. Here comes Malloy, and gives it to Jonah Gardner again, splitting time with Taylor. Can't find a whole lot of space, plenty of speed on this Rhinos defense, and of course big Akeem Allen in the middle. Minimal gain on first down, looking at 2nd and 9. Dale Stanley in at center. Gardner still in the backfield. A very tight trips bunch out to the edge. A blitz by the Rhinos here, and it is a run play for Gardner, who fights hard for a couple of yards. The Rhinos defense very stingy this afternoon, making these running backs, who are very talented running backs, really have to fight for yardage. Solid gain of 3 yards though by Gardner. Most of those after contact. Tulmavave coming off the field now, and now we've got we'll call it a 3rd and long 5. Jack Lowe looking like he's going to blitz again. And did we get a jump? Wow, the official's not calling it. They'll let the Stingrays continue a screen pass here to Paludan, who's been tackled nicely by Emmanuel Kappa, who returns to the Rhinos. Hasn't been able to put together a consistent or a particularly long season with the Rhinos, I don't believe. Haven't seen too much of him this season. But here he is back again, the talented youngster.
Hey,
Jaden Paladin's played a lot of football this year. Obviously, full court season, full senior season, and that's before we even talk about his campaign at the start of the year. J-Nats, you got to wonder if there's some fatigue in those legs. And Malloy, we trusted to get this with his legs on fourth down. Did he get it? It certainly looks like it based on the measurements, and that is the case. Clears the yardage by half a yard. First down and 10 from the Stingrays at 32. Converted one first down on their last drive. Trying to get this drive longer than 2 fresh sets. Spread formation. Napier, who recorded a pass on the opening drive. He'll run a flat. And now we've got a man open downfield, but it is just too far for him. Streaking down the field there was Riku Hataya. Beat his man, but the pass couldn't find him. Coverage on the play there was Henrique Walters. Second down and 10. Ball still on the 32. Savers got to the flat to find Napier. Napier breaks a tackle. Oh, jukes inside Metautia's tackle. Eventually Jack Lowe takes him down. That's a good catch and run there from Napier. First down catch, in fact. 10 yards on that catch. 8 of those after the catch. Look at that little inside move he gave Sam Metautia, who had a big target on him. Crafty move, gets it done, gets the first down. 2 first downs on this drive now. Ball is 7 yards short of halfway. They'll go short to Paladin. Paladin's got Carper again. No, it's Walters in his face this time. And again, can't find a whole lot of space on those screens. Henrique on one side, one corner, Carper the other. Now we've got 2nd and 11. And time being called here. We get an explanation or... Oh, wow, we've got a flag here on Coach Booker. One of the sideline officials was enforcing some get-back rules, telling what looked like some staff to be back in the players' box. Coach Booker was arguing that coordinators are allowed to be in the coach's box as well, which to my knowledge is true. And then he's inquired whether the referee was aware of those rules, and the referee has taken exception to that and has thrown a flag on him. So they will wave off the flag there. And he will be given a warning. And as you can see on camera there, Booker and the sideline official trying to work things out.
Rhinos, lock in. Know what's happening here, lock in. I've got no problem with you coming on and go, hey, this is the play, and then going back. Lock in. But this is your area to work. This is ours. It's just a sideline warning. Next one will be a delay of game.
All right, sorry for my silence there. I was trying to listen into the conversation. Just the officials, I guess we could say, having a bit of a turf war there with the with the Rhinos coaching staff, just establishing where their area of operation is and where the coach's area of operation is. Coach Booker seems a little confused about it, but this is a catch now. Missed an opportunity earlier. This time Ataya brings it down, but Stingray sideline not getting too excited because the flag's back down at the 41. And, well, nope, turns out it'll be against the Rhinos for offside, and of course the Stingrays decline that. So here's another first down, their third on this drive for the Stingrays. A nice long pass down the right-hand sideline. Ataya beating Henrik Walters. So it'll be first and 10 now. The Stingrays well and truly in Rhinos territory. Ball on the Rhinos 29. Trips left, James Hobby the slot underneath, and they'll go to Paludan, who's beaten Walters, and it gets the ball inside the 10. Flags have been thrown. I think this will be against the defense, though. The Stingrays are likely to turn this down. I could be wrong, could be offensive PI, but it should be safe for the Stingrays. Yeah, I think that's the situation there. And Rick just getting a bit handsy. And it looks like the Stingrays have or will decline a defensive holding penalty, or perhaps the... Oh, wait a minute. Malloy's having a conversation here. Might be a conversation about whether that was PI or defensive holding. It will be PI, and as I alluded to earlier, it will be declined. And the Stingrays will continue this roll on here. 2 back-to-back plays. Malloy to Hataya working over Walters. We got first and goal from the 9. Stingrays trying to level the score. This game somewhat mimicking the way it went all the way back in the middle of the season. Taylor now getting the carry, but he's taken down from the defensive tackle. I think Akeem Allen. No, it's number 65. Making the tackle there, Tim Reynolds, who's usually an offensive player. Last week caught a touchdown playing wide receiver. That's right, you heard that correct. Played some wide receiver, or at least tight end. This time playing some defensive tackle now. Played there as a junior. James Taylor and Tonga Kilo the backfield. Malloy will keep it. Malloy will roll out, hit Tonga Kilo, the former Cerritos tight end. Can't get to the end zone though, taken down nicely by Cheyenne James. Out at the 1, we're going to get third and goal from the 1. Seeing if there's some flags here. Yes, there is. Flag back down at the 10. Seeing if there's any holding here. Doesn't look like there's holding on the line. Copper as well assisting in keeping Tonga Kilo out of the end zone. And that is against the Stingrays. Didn't see the call, my apologies. Here we go. Of course, an eligible man downfield. One of the linemen just traveling a bit too far there on what ended up being a passing play, whether it was an RPO or not, or just a straight up play action. Well, we won't know. That's cost them 5 yards, and now we've got second and goal all the way back at the 14 and a half. Drop back from Malloy over the middle, bouncing off the hands of Matautia. Matautia almost with the intercept there, incomplete, bringing up third and goal. Malloy getting away with one there. Matautia, more known for his sacks than his picks, had an opportunity as you saw just then. Would have loved to have seen what he would have tried with that. And I'll tell you what, it is starting to get balmy here in southeast Queensland. We're all starting to figure out why it's called the Sun Bowl. And Mentality continues to wear those long sleeves. It's number 8 in the middle of the defense there. Guy's crazy. Malloy looking. No, he wanted the slant, the coverage too tight, and then before he knew it, Jack Lowe has absolutely leveled him. Can you believe that guy? I think he's only 17. Ooh. Did a good job holding onto it there. And Malloy's I can hear Malloy his frustration from my point in commentary here. Didn't want to give up the touchdown opportunity here, and with the usual kicker in there. Well, I was going to say they might have moved themselves out of field goal positioning, but here comes Reese Perkins, who, well, he's kicked many a PAT, he's kicked many a field goal. This might be one of his longer ones. It's at the 21, so effectively you're looking at a 30-plus yard field goal, and it's wide right. So the Stingrays leave points on the board there. The Rhinos hold on to their 7-point lead largely courtesy of this sack here from young Jack Lowe. Came in untouched and got in right there underneath, as clean as they come. We would have been looking at a 38.
I couldn't show it. I didn't even know it was a sack.
38-yard field goal is missed by Perkins, who's back in on defense, and they'll give it to Gates after using that motion. Was misdirection once again, not as successful as they tried last time. And now it'll bring up second down.
Defense. Hey. You were just thinking what sort of celebration. Rick, water.
Looks like that might be quarter time here as we move into the second quarter. At the end of one, the Rhinos deny the Stingrays on their most recent offensive drive. The Rhinos have a 7-point lead courtesy of a Brandon Gwynner touchdown run from 1 yard out. But that was largely thanks to two huge runs there from Jeremiah Gates, one of which getting them outside of their own 20 after being trapped by a good Reese Perkins punt. Big 45-yard gain there, put them in position for that eventual Gwynner touchdown. Team swap sides now. The Stingrays have had two possessions. They punted on their first one, missed a field goal from the 21. And their recent drive just 2 plays ago. Now the Rhinos are back in possession here on second down after a 3-yard gain there from Gates on the ground, giving us a 2nd and 7 to open the second quarter. Winner in the shotgun, it gives it to Gates. Kalishaw pulls around, giving him a lead block. Jeremiah Gates breaks off the tackle from Sinapati. He's still going, and Lagerstrom's trying to strip that away. And that'll be a big run there from Gates before he can, crossing halfway, getting them all the way to the Stingrays, 49. Oh, no, 49. Well, they marked with the 49. Knee, it looks like he got at least to the 48, but his knee was a lot more visible to that far side official. So inside Stingrays territory, Jeremiah Gates, huge day on the ground already, just 1 quarter into this. James yet to receive a catch. And rolling out now, they could be targeting him. That they are. Speak of the devil, flags thrown all the way back though at the line of scrimmage. Before that flag though would be a long completion from Gwynner to James all the way to the 25. A call for a medic on the far side. Saw a flag come flying through as I throw some chat back to Justin Burke. Jordan Moko getting pinned for a hold.
No, Jordan got beat outside, so you let him go. Jeremiah picked him up.
Rhinos sideline completely in complete disagreement with that call, but they're not going to change anyone's mind. So that long catch to James will be wiped. James now is on his backside. I don't know if he's injured or if he's just bugging. Ball's marked for now at the Rhinos 41. So I think that was a timeout taken. Didn't see to whom though. It was an injury timeout, I think. Malloy now having a chat with the officials, trying to get some confirmation on interpretations. James is gingerly making his way to the sideline though. It's one side of the set here on the south side of Brisbane. As the first half of this game to be played in the sunlight before the lights probably claim the game in the fourth quarter, and certainly by the time the 7 o'clock kickoff of the fight for fourth place between Logan City and Griffith Uni takes place. Winner with a couple in the backfield. Shanks actually at the fullback position. He'll catch it in the flank. He's got a lot of pace to make it plenty of yards after the catch. Running him out of bounds there is McAlpine. And they make up a fair chunk on that penalty yardage back. In fact, they'll get it past the original line of scrimmage, making this a 3rd and 8. Maybe even 3rd and 7.
Let him go and Jeremiah pick him up.
Sorry, 2nd and 7, given there was a penalty. Moved him back. Yardage 2nd and 7. My apologies. Shanks now out in the right slot. Verbakel, near side wide receiver. And we might get... Oh, and now number 5, and that's, I think that's Riley Dix, who's was one of the backup quarterbacks now. Is working at wide receiver. He's been told to get off the field because didn't have any knee pads on, I don't think. And the rule is now is that they'll, unless they want to use a timeout, they have to replace him. Shanks goes back out to the right wide receiver, and then will be there to block as Gates continues his productive day. McAlpine takes him down by the ankles, but he jumps forward to get more than enough yardage for the first down. He gets it all the way to the Stingrays 39. First down. The Rhinos huddle there, you can see on the field. A couple of their offensive linemen playing both ways. Looks like it's Timmy Reynolds. Riley Dix now with some knee pads back on the field. Shanks and Dix out to the right-hand side for the Rhinos. Verbakel on his own to the left. And it's another clean lane for Jeremiah Gates to take advantage. And, well, there's a stark contrast between the running games for these two teams right now. The Stingrays running backs having to work really hard for every bit of yardage they take from this Rhinos defense. Jeremiah Gates is running in the field at least 3, 4, 5 yards before he's touched. Right now, the offense, at least the offensive line for the Rhinos, doing a wonderful job against this defensive front for the Stingrays, which contains players like Holloway, Tonga Kilo, some quality run stuff is there, and it looks like we've got a timeout. And didn't see this attributed to. Oh no, it's another injury timeout. Riley Dix, I think, coming off the field. So just an timeout. Update on the timeout situation. By my count, just the one team timeout charged so far, and that was to the Rhinos. So the Stingrays with a full complement. Rhinos down to 2. J.M. James is now getting a bit of medical attention as well for the Rhinos, not on the field. He looks like he's going to get something taped up. So, 2 wide receivers now. They've gone to a heavier set as another flag comes through, and the stop-start continues here this afternoon. Well, interesting. Encroachment on the offense. Don't see that very often. And it's charged against James Calishaw. I'm just hearing someone call out saying that he's used to playing defensive end. Surprised it wasn't a false start, but I guess they're saying that it wasn't a football move and he just moved forward on his own volition. Not trying to fool anybody. That's another give to Gates. Coming off the edge there was number 86, Enrico Hataya, playing some defense now for the Stingrays. That's their situation. He came in and got in Gwynner's face just to remind him he's there. Still second down here, 2nd and 10. Ball at the 27. Winner on a sweep to Gates, and Perkins gets in there and shuts down that run real quick behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3 yards for the Rhinos. As a matter of fact, it'll be a loss of 5 yards. Ball all the way back at the 30, the 32. So we've got 3rd down and double sticks now. Looking at 3rd and 15.
Inside zone. He just crossed Morris's face.
So 3rd and long. They're going to try some trickery here to get to Shanks. Tonga Kilo was alert to it. Shanks bounces out and then gets punished by Malloy, who turns out will be playing some defense. And that'll make it a 4th and long there. They try some gadgets there on 3rd and long. Stingrays shut it down, much like the Rhinos did to the Stingrays on their 3rd and long attempt. A measure of revenge there for Malloy, who got clocked. Last Stingrays possession, came off the field very disappointed. And just to eavesdrop a little on some of the conversation happening in front of them, a lot of people talking how much chat Malloy likes to talk, but claiming it's quality chat. And they're more than happy to take that. 4th and long, no thought of a punt or a long field goal. Gwynner loads up and throws for James. James got behind the safeties, but the pass falls flat. So that'll be a turnover on downs this time. The Rhinos, they can't add any points. The score remains 7-0. Stingrays letting CJ get past him. He's back in the field now after getting a bit of medical attention. And he'll now have to wait another drive before he gets back on, unless, of course, he comes and plays some defense. So far, doesn't look like that's the case today. I'll check that. Now he's, speaking of the devil, he's on the field now at safety. Malloy at quarterback. That's Taylor in the backfield with him. No, Jonah Gardner, and Jonah Gardner's got no space. Joe Tuamavave getting past the offensive line, coached by Adam Bolton. And then Jack Lowe to back him up. The running game of which this Stingrays offense is predicated on is not really working. And the Stingrays are struggling to get anything going because the meat and potatoes of their offense isn't finding a whole lot of space right now. Malloy, play action, throws it to Napier in the flat. He's got Henrik Walters chasing him, and Walters takes him down at back of the original line of scrimmage, just a gain of 1 on that short pass. Now we've got 3rd and 10. Oh no, they're going to go give forward progression a couple of yards further up the field, so now we'll have a 3rd and 8. And you get to the 50, or past the 50, to keep this drive alive. Converted 2 of them on their last offensive possession. Malloy's under pressure. Malloy has to dance, looking downfield. Palutin's heading down there for him, but the pressure is too much. Taking him down there is Jack Lowe without an E. Hakeem Allen was present, as was Tuamavave, and Jack Lowe with an E. Big defensive stand there, 3 and out. 3 possessions now for the Stingrays. They've got a punt, a missed field goal from the 21, and now a 3 and out. And this punt here will bounce. Will take a 90-degree turn there, and it's actually a solid punt. Perkins probably making a claim that he could take the punting duties even when Terzok returns. And that ball will be down to around the 13. Rhinos offense quickly back on the field after 3 and out from the Stingrays. 5 possessions so far. The Rhinos here on their 3rd possession. 2nd of the quarter when turnover on downs. Last possession had a winner 1-yard rush for a touchdown for their 7 points in the 1st quarter. Ball on the right hash, plenty of space on the left-hand side of the field, so much so that Kalishaw moves out there as a slot. He's open if they want to go for it, but they're going downfield for Cheyenne James, who gets a step, and Paludan has to do the right thing and just takes the penalty there, and doing anything other than that would have seen Cheyenne James streaking down the other 50 yards for a touchdown. And a little interaction there. Just reminded me, was look at the 80 number matching up against 80 number there. Was in the Sun Bowl, Tristan Back versus Cheyenne James, one of the most entertaining one-on-one matchups I've seen in Sun Bowl history. Those two were constantly battling down the field. One big play to CJ, one big play to Back, one big play to CJ, one big play to Back, and eventually it was Back who got the tip right at the end for a long pass to Cheyenne James in the end zone, which very well could have won the Sun Bowl. Instead, we've got... Well, here I thought it was... Well, it's a first down here, and of course we're in college, so... There might have been offsetting penalties there. I could have sworn there. Oh, yeah, we've moved up to 10 yards. Fresh set of downs following that pass interference call. Thought we were in the NFL for a hot second. Cheyenne James was open underneath this pass off the target, though, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10. We'll take a look on that PI once more. Play action to Gates, and that's going to get him a lot of success downfield with the way afternoon he's having there. And you can see a full step Cheyenne James had on him. I'm going to put a little more behind that. James probably could have caught that in stride, but Paludan beaten that time by the bigger and stronger Cheyenne James. 2nd down and 10. Winner sends Kalishaw in motion, getting a lot of time on offense today. And he'll lead for Gates. Gates lowers the shoulder, breaks past the first line of defense. Now he's on the open field. He's got Cheyenne James in front of him. He very well could go all the way. Will that be the case? He'll bowl over the last defender and get taken out at the 1-yard line. What a run and what an afternoon for Jeremiah Gates. What a run block there from Cheyenne James downfield, and McAlpine there not giving up. Was blocked out of the play, wrestled as long as he could, and actually did enough here to keep Gates out at least for one more play. Of course, it'll be naught if they punch it in right here, but Stingrays came up with a couple of impressive goal line stops before eventually Gwynna ran it in on their first possession of the game. They'll need a couple of those right now. If not, Rhinos looking to extend their lead to a 2-possession game. Gwynna, is he going under center? The only time he's done this, he's ended up sneaking it. Will that be the case now? And we've got a false start, so take sneak off the menu. Jumping early there is Joshua Koo. Getting a bit too excited there. Something about knowing that your quarterback is ready to shoot in behind you for 6 points. And an offensive lineman, there's always so much more on the line there. You get moved back 5 yards, the standard penalty for that if you do that, but it's only a couple inches for the defense should they jump offside. So now Gwynna moves back to his more customary pistol alignment. Will Play action, use them as a fake, and then throw the touchdown to call to Shanks. And Shanks, usually used for his downfield ability, this time wins on a slant. And that's the second touchdown of the day for this game and for the Rhinos. Calder Shanks, his father, very big fan of his son there. Is at all of his games. As a matter of fact, I look to the right, I see him in the grandstands now. Very proud of the young man who's making the jump from juniors to seniors. Jack Price back to add his second PAT. Kick is up, and kick is good. 14 points now the lead for the Brisbane Rhinos. Jeremiah Gates again doing all the heavy lifting and letting the pretty boys score the touchdowns inside the 5. Gates very unlucky not to add his first touchdown of the day, getting stopped 1 yard short after busting a long 60-yard carry. Well over 100 yards. He could have a 200-yard day by the end of the game if he's not rested. I'm seeing all the joking happening now on the Rhinos sideline. Even the head coach is getting amongst it, and Jeremiah Gates getting stopped at the 1 multiple times today. It's quite ironic. The way he's built, you'd think he's the type of guy who'd be finishing off those runs, not setting him up at the 1. Funny how football works. Price just added the PAT, now kicks this downfield, keeps a low one out of the wind, but into the arms of Reese Perkins. Perkins cuts it back behind Lagerstrom. Now he's looking for some space underneath, cuts it back again into the arms of James Calishaw, and then it looks like we've got the Rugby World Cup on there with one dominant scrum, one there by the Brisbane Rhinos, but it'll set up nicely for the Stingrays. Looks like his return will be declared over at the 38. And Stingrays yet to score after a missed field goal 2 possessions ago. They're looking to get on the board. 3 possessions so far, a punt, missed field goal, and 3 and out on their last possession.
Just because they're not coming off at you, does not mean that you don't come off at them. You still come off at them. You just have to make sure your footwork is right.
Malloy alone in the backfield now, and he throws downfield for Paludan, and it's off the fingertips there. Henrik Walters on the coverage, and sorry, that was not Paludan. I saw the 5, but it's actually the 15, and that must be a new junior. In fact, I'll have to go through my old team list here because no 15 on this team list.
It's not half time yet, and they're already gassed. We should be running on these dudes like that Jeremiah play every single time. Joshy, I know the false start was the wrong cadence. Yeah, so I thought good, just obviously just try and flow, but I understood because I saw him going through the cage.
And on second down, it's a Malloy keeper, and he'll get taken down underneath there. Terry O'Neill, the career PT, strength and conditioning coach, taking him down, setting up 3rd down for the Stingrays, 3rd and long.
Number 6, that's fucking dangerous. He's a quarterback. He's a quarterback linebacker. You really just got to, what's he doing?
Taylor now in the backfield with Malloy. Hobby, right slot. Rhinos show blitz. Only send 4 though. That almost gets to Malloy. Gets it to Napier though. Napier showing good game awareness there. Gets past the 1st down before turning his route to the sideline. Out route underneath from Napier before taking the Henrik Walters tackle. It's enough for a 1st down. Doing a good job underneath Dylan Napier. Another Tammy somewhere in the crowd today. I think she's over in the goal line. 1st down and 10. Hobby, right slot, outside Jaden Paludan. Malloy keeps a back in to protect, going downfield to nobody. Pass intended to this mystery number 15 Colt. I'm working on getting the name of now.
Not offensive. But as soon as you think, it fucking throws you off. So all you've got to do is just trust your instinct. Trust you know what you're doing and know that you're better than him. He shouldn't beat you. That's what you've got to remember.
And on 2nd and 10, Malloy looks left. And again, that's another target to the left-hand side of the field. And I think it's to Napier once again. Napier delivers the goods. Seems like that's his drive, and there'll be enough for a first down. 2 first downs, Malloy to Napier so far on this drive. And getting confirmation that Zach Carroll in number 15. And no, to keep it a Malloy. Whether they kept it now, the ball's out of bounds, out of his hands, I should say. And it looks like it's recovered by the Stingrays. The Rhinos sideline still pointing their direction, but no one on the field seems to share their enthusiasm. And they tried the read option there, but both options were absolutely stuffed, whether he handed it to James Taylor or kept it himself, as he saw another option were available to him. And now we've got 2nd and 12. On 2nd and 12, no change in formation. Malloy looking off his backfield, finds Napier again. Been very busy this drive, picks up 8, maybe 9 yards. We'll stick to 8. Actually stepped out of bounds after 7 yards there, so we'll have 3rd and 3. And that'll be a timeout there, taken by the Rhinos. That's their 2nd timeout. Okay, just getting confirmation there. It's not actually a former Colt. It's Zach Carroll, who I did have notes on my previous weeks there. Oh, there we go. I've still got it. He's an athlete from the States, if memory serves correct. And he's attending Bond University. That's why he's playing here for the Gold Coast Stingrays. And football runs in his family's blood. If memory serves correct, his brother is, or at least was, a college walk-on at Bama. So obviously Alabama ranked in the top 4 at the moment, playing LSU today, if memory serves. It's a huge game, obviously LSU Bama, a huge game in the NCAA schedule. And his brother, possibly on that Bama roster. Making that Bama roster huge, doing it as a walk-on is just as impressive. So on 3rd down here, Stingers actually haven't been too bad on 3rd down. Especially this is a pretty generous distance. They're going to go downfield this time. And that's a good job there by Carper, or maybe take that back. I thought Carper used the sideline beautifully on Napier there. But now flags have come in very late on the play there, suggesting otherwise. Just getting further information on Carroll there. Played football in high school. So he's in no way new to the sport. Thank you, Craig James and Colt Isham from the Stingrays from feeding that to me. Furthermore information, a lacrosse athlete in college. Multi-sport athlete there, and just staying quiet there for the call, and it was a defensive PI on Carper, saying getting a bit too physical with him, and that time the Stingrays converted on 3rd down via penalty. So now they've got 1st and goal inside the red zone, ball at the 20, and they'll try a reversal here to Paludan, who gets a great block by one of the offensive line before taking it out of bounds, and now lay flags here. What's going on? Near side, holding it would seems to be the suggestion here from the Rhino sideline. Oh, I didn't see it on screen there. I'm assuming it might have come from the line. Not a bad little bit of trickery there from the Stingrays. Not waiting for a key down to use it. It is on the Stingrays. And it is holding. He was on one alignment. I think it was number 64. I think is Dale Stanley, the centre. And we've got first and 15. First and 15 up. Oh, and the 2-minute warning. The 2-minute warning. The Rhinos, I think, just have the one timeout remaining. The Stingrays have all three. Picked up nicely, the blitz from James Taylor, but Malloy selects a roll out to the right, commits to running the ball, gets out of bounds, run out of bounds there from Jack Lowe. Playing awfully wide. He's just giving his defender a bit of props there. Getting a real unique insight to some of the chat going on in the field there. I don't know if it's only a light breeze coming around here on Hyde Park, and it's not enough to drown out some of the the on-field chat coming between the players there. Malloy a little surprised by the quickness of Jack Lowe on that last play. 2nd down and 10. Malloy wants to go to the end zone, looking for Paludan, who was covered nicely from Carper. No flag on this play. A fair competition for the ball, no objections from either sideline. Just a good job playing the hands there. That was intended to Carroll. Once again in their 2x2 spread. Taylor moves to the right side of Malloy's flank. Paludan on the right hand side of the field. That's where Malloy wants to go, but he'll throw for Napier now after pulling it back down. And strong hands shown there from Dylan Napier. He's had a great drive and is quite deserving that he finishes off as the man scoring the 6 points there. The Stingrays get on the board just inside the 2-minute warning. And just see Napier. And passes getting free, and yeah, no running plays on that last drive being pointed out to me there from Paul Mills there, with the exception of Malloy tucking into running himself on past plays there. But a team that has been usually, at least this season, run first to get their offensive going, abandons the run, at least on this drive. As a successful PAT is added there from Perkins to make it a 7-14 game there, with the Rhinos with just under 2 minutes there to try and extend it back to a 2-possession lead. But the Stingrays, who've, as I've said and explained, their offense has been based off establishing a run game. They abandoned it for one drive there, going to the arm of Malloy and some of these outside receiver talents, and it pays dividends. They get on the board there. Napier proving that he might be the cog to the rest of the offense for the rest of the day there. They went to him 1, 2, 3. Well, they targeted him 5 times there, and I think he came down with 4 of them, including the touchdown sealing catch there.
Get ready, yeah? Get another one, get another one.
It's 14-7 inside the 2-minute warning. Perkins deliberately keeps this a bit short. It's tried to be fielded by Matautier, and maybe that proves why they tried it, trying to take away any returning options there for Shanks or Cheyenne James, and worked to perfection on that particular instance. Rhino set up about at the 35 there, so 65 yards for them to travel inside approximately 90 seconds. Try and push this to the maximum of 21 points going into this, going into halftime. First down and 10. Ball actually on the 36. Receiver swapping sides now. Verbekel moving out to the open side of the field. Cheyenne James near side. Shanks in at the left slot. And there'll be another carry to Jeremiah Gates, who bounces past the first tackler, the blitzing safety, before Lance Tongakilo takes him down. And for one of the few times today, if not the first time, Gates is taken down for a loss. Second and 11. 1 yard loss on the last play there, and Gates might have thought he was going to take a play off there. Just sort of moseying his way to the flat, but the ball comes to him. And he takes it a couple of yards, and the Stingray is going to be penalized here for a hit out of bounds. Daniel Coyle trying to plead his innocence now. Just said to the Rhino sideline verbatim, "To be fair, I can't stop. Sorry." Jeremiah Gates is he's not happy about something, but the flag is thrown in the field, and it will be against the Stingrays. Malloy has famously copped plenty of sideline shots, but also delivered plenty of sideline shots. Doesn't seem perturbed by the call either way, but it's actually waved off there. So Coyle, I guess his apology worked. Coach Booker's still got a cheeky smile on his face, so he's obviously not too upset with the no call. One person who is a bit defiant is Jeremiah Gates, who was, to be fair, the hittee in that situation. Third down and 4. Gwinner, the trip's right. He's looking to the left though, setting up to a screen to Cheyenne James. He's got blockers in front. He's got the first down and more. He gets past Sinapati, and eventually it's Malloy who takes him down from behind, but not before he gets all the way to the 31. Rhinos just have the one time out here, so they could be trying to set up for a spike. Malloy slow to get up there. Clock running again. Coach Booker suggesting let's go. Offense now has a play called. No huddle. Gwinner wasn't ready for that. Neither was Gates. But he gets the ball, throws the pass, looking for James, and James over the shoulder. Can't bring the catch in. He was in the end zone. Incomplete, and that'll settle things down as we've got second down. And 34 seconds is the call from the White Hat there. 34 seconds for the Rhinos. They have still got one timeout in tow. Second down and 10. 34 seconds. Ball on the Stingrays 31, Rhinos 14-7, looking to extend their lead. Gwinner rolling out right, has got Verbekel in the end zone if he wants him, but he'll keep it himself, looking for the sideline, kept in bounds. Clock continues to run, but now it looks like the Rhinos will take their third and final. Yep. On the ball this week. Rhinos third and final timeout. It was 34 seconds before that play. That play probably took at least 6. So inside at 30 seconds now. See some of the families all about here at Hyde Park. A lovely, beautiful afternoon here on a Saturday in southeast Queensland. There's a fair few of the Logan City Bears prepping to fight for their first finals position in quite a number of years. Water getting sent off now, coming out of this timeout. Gates move from right to left. Tight bunch here for the Rhinos. Now the receivers all running to the corners. Cheyenne James is behind them all, and look at the concentration. It's not good enough, says this sideline official. Said he was juggling the catch. No touchdown, no catch. Deemed not to have control. We're going to get a look at this in slow-mo. Obviously, everyone's asking for a replay. We're going to take a look at it ourselves. You guys watching from home get the advantage of seeing this. Tell you what, the curiosity of a lot of the plays there. Look, you only need 1 foot in bounds in here, and he is still juggling the ball. That is probably an all right call there from the official, I must say. That call's not bad. That is, I can understand the call from the official there. No clear control shown by Cheyenne James. 4th down now. Ball on the 24. Fourth down now. Chance for the Stingrays to keep the score where it is. Gwinner over the middle. Intercepted by Malloy. The man's got a massive gash on his leg, but that won't stop him from making plays. Looking for the outside now. He's got a block there from Perkins. Probably won't take this the distance like Malloy of old might have had a chance to do, but he takes it out past the 30 and more importantly keeps the Rhinos off the board on this drive. The score remains 14-7. The skipper with a real captain's knock this afternoon. And that will close out this half. An inspirational play there from Damien Malloy to keep the scores where it is. 14-7 your halftime score here. 4 possessions for the Stingrays, the most recent of which led to a 20-yard touchdown Malloy to Napier to give them their 7 points. There, the Gwinner touchdown, 1-yard touchdown run set the Rhinos up for the lead, and then they regained it again with a touchdown through the air to Calder Shanks on the slant for a short gain, and more importantly, the 6 points to give us our 14-7 lead at halftime. We're going to take a break at the half. Stay tuned with the second half coming, and of course at 7 p.m. we've got Logan City taking on Griffith Uni Thunder for a place in the finals next week at Sunshine Coast. See you on the other side of halftime. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Halftime has come to a close. Both teams are out, ready to kick off the second half. 14-7 your halftime score in favour to the Brisbane Rhinos, the number 1 seed. So far, it would appear the Stingrays, not only do they need to beat the Rhinos, but they need to beat them by a margin of 21 points to finish 2019 in the number 1 spot, something the Stingrays haven't done since 2015. The Rhinos, if they win, they simply finish as the top seed team in 2019. But for the Stingrays, if they lose, in all likeliness, they will end up finishing in 3rd position. A position they certainly have won the Sunball before. Well, look at Calder Shanks. Cut up left-hand side of the field. Now he's got Perkins to beat, and he won't be able to do that, but he sets up this offense in fantastic field position inside the 40. So the Rhinos won't have to travel very far. Jeremiah Gates won't have to rip off a 60-yard run in this drive, it would appear. But just to finish off my thought, the Stingrays, if they lose, they will finish 2019 level at 14 points. As we can see on the letter here, 14 points with the Bayside Ravens who are on a bye this week, so they won't be moving in any way, shape or form. But the Stingrays, because of head-to-head, they've played the Ravens twice. They've split the series, but the Ravens they will finish on a higher head-to-head differential between the two teams, so they will finish in second seed. So it's a situation where the Stingrays will either finish first seed or third seed. The Rhinos, at worst, will finish second. Shanks, after the big kick return, will be called upon on an end around. Shaken players now with a block in front of him. I think that was Kent. Flags come in from the 10 from the end of that play. And it looks like it is against the Stingrays. But a huge couple of plays there from Calder. Shanks had a touchdown in the second quarter on a short slant. And now he's exploded onto the scene here to start the third quarter. Well, I thought it'd be against the Stingrays. Turns out against a Rhino for a block in the back, so it'll still be a first down. But not quite the length of the run. As Shanks took it. Ball now on the 26. Rhinos in striking territory already. Trips right. And they'll give it to Gates. Gates with no space at all. Shut down the moment he touched the football. I think that was Hataya as one of the tacklers there. The Stingrays sent their house and they got there. Second down and long now. Gates is knocked all the way back to the 31. Second down, I'll call that 14. Gwynner rolling out to his right, under pressure though. Drops it short to Cheyenne James. James tries to hurdle. Suarez, I think, no, that was number 26 in Blake Hatchman, but no luck on this play. Hatchman wasn't getting low. $10 points for trying. And just to fix a couple of things I might have said last time on stream, the women's division, it won't be a 3-team playoff, it will be 4 teams. So all 4 teams in the women's division in 2019 will be competing at the Sunshine Coast for women's division supremacy. Gwynner drops back, decides to run it himself, has got plenty of space, eventually slides down at the 10, flags coming in. Paludan looks like he'll get pinned for a late hit on Gwynner. Some of you watching might say that's soft, but as per the rules, if the quarterback gives himself up there by starting to slide, you've got to let him go. It's a tough one, defenders, I admit. 4 defenders, I will admit. What? Okay, well, apparently there's a bit of a chop block. It's an argument based on where it took place, giving Gwynner scrambled, but this is actually... Okay, here I thought against Stingrays wrong again. Now I'm trying to see where exactly it took place. And, okay, there it is there. They're saying, you can see it, I think it was on Glasson, on Reese Perkins there, 2 Queensland teammates. They have made changes to the blocking below the waist rules. And over the years, that one deemed illegal. We'll see Perkins taking exception to it. Now we'll take that Gwynner run off the board, moving back all the way back to the 32, pretty much where this play started, plus change, 3rd and long now. Gwynner with Cheyenne James on his own to the right. Kalashaw at tight end, and it will be a screen attempt, but Gwynner can't find him. He wants a flag. It'll be incomplete, and now we'll have 4th down after a strong start to this quarter. A huge kick return from Calder Shanks, followed by an end around that had a penalty on it. And we've seen a lot of flags since then, mainly on the Rhinos. Got picked off on the last drive before halftime there. They were inside the red zone at one point. Eventually Malloy took that opportunity away from them. 4th down, ball of 32, they're going for it. They need 15. Need to get it to the 16. Winner over the middle hits Calishaw, and Calishaw can't hold on to it. A big strong shot there from Damien Malloy again, making big plays in the secondary. Turnover on downs. You can see Malloy in there breaking up the completion. Calishaw had it, just didn't expect Malloy to be closing down on him so quickly. 14-7. Stingrays need a Herculean effort here in the second half. Can only get past the Rhinos, but grab the 21-point lead they need to give themselves an opportunity to finish in first place. That being said, even if they don't get that and they get the win over the Rhinos, they'll take that, and they'll take that with pride there. That'll be a huge statement after the loss they took to the Ravens, that they are still absolutely a horse in this race. (14-7) last time the Stingrays offense was on the field. They scored via a 20-yard touchdown to Dylan Napier. They threw away the game plan of trying to establish a run. It wasn't working. They came out airing it out, and they got themselves their first and only score of the day. Looking to build on that now. Tonga Kilo in there at tight end. James Taylor, the back of choice here to start this drive. Napier, who finished the half strong, alone on his right, matched up with Henrik Walters on the far side of the field. And this is a give to Malloy. Malloy has found some space, and he will meet the shoulder of Terry O'Neill, and his run will be ceased after a good chunk of yardage there. Make it 7.
That's how you fucking finish, man. That's what we should all be doing, boys. Pass play does not have to be passive, yeah? It does not have to be passive. You can still put a motherfucker on the ground in pass play, yeah? So if you get the team, stop these motherfuckers.
Here goes James Taylor, and their theme of the Rhinos shutting down the running backs from their Stingrays continues here in the second half. James Taylor loses a yard there. We've got 3rd and 4. Just to update everyone on the Colts game that happened prior to this game kicking off. The Thunder defeated the Rhinos. Not quite certain on the final score, but a strong second half from the Thunder carried them over the line. Multiple score touchdown by the end of it. Multiple touchdown difference, I should say. Got them over the Rhinos. Malloy looking to the right-hand side of the field, looking for Tonga Kilo, who brings it in with a defender draped on him. Now he breaks that tackle. Now he's in the open field with Cheyenne James chasing him down, and he gets him out around the 30-yard line. What a play there from Lance Tonga Kilo. Pure brute strength, earning him the first down and more. It's been a little while since he's been called on to take as many snaps as he has as tight end, but it's somewhere he played collegiately. The Stingrays want to play fast. 3 to the right. They'll go to the ISO side to Carroll, and Carroll can't bring it in. Good coverage there by Kappa. The man affectionately nicknamed as Manu, Manuel Kappa. Doing a good job on the outside this afternoon. Certainly got a lot of work on his plate. Second down and 10 following the incomplete pass. Scores 14-7. We're Still in the early minutes of the third quarter, one possession down. The Rhinos turnover on downs to the first possession for the Stingrays here in the third quarter. This play will be blown dead. Malloy ain't happy about it. Malloy never ashamed to be animated towards his own team. Demanding his team gets set next play. Just to remind everyone a couple of the absentees. False start on the Stingrays being assessed there for the Stingrays. No Bice, no Toolzork. Appy's out, Mahe's out of the backfield. Lewis Carroll's not there in the defensive front. Hits Williams still an absentee on the offensive line. Colin Kluger's not catching passes today, nor is Ryan Newton returned from injury. Malloy with Taylor to his right. Taylor's done a lot of pass protection today. That pass was to Hobby. And Hobby hit as he catches it, and then cops a hit after he doesn't catch it as well. That'll make it 3rd and long. Temperature starting to drop a little here at Hyde Park as the sun sets. Lights soon to be coming on. Actually, they better start coming on soon. They take a little while to fire up. First down and 10. Oh, sorry, 3rd down long. My apologies. Ball set on the 35. Malloy, design rollout to the left. He'll be protected by Taylor, and that pass was intended to Napier, who got one hand on it, dropped. There is a flag down, though, around the 35 at the line of scrimmage. And full start on the Stingrays again. That's their second false start on this drive. The Rhinos will take the result of the play. They're bringing up 4th down. The Stingrays had a 4th down situation on their touchdown drive in the second quarter where they converted it via pass interference. Tulmavave thought he had to be called off there and will now have to stay on the field a bit too late to make a substitution. Trips right on the short side of the field. Carroll has got plenty of space to operate here on the left hash. Malloy looks for Carroll, now buys some time. Tucks it, now he's going to try and run for the first down. Cuts inside low, won't get enough, I don't think. This looks like this will be a Rhino win on 4th down. And the Rhinos offense will come on courtesy of their defense. Malloy couldn't find anyone open downfield, and we've also got a Stingray down back at the 36. Malloy, Jack Lowe, they've been coming together a fair bit. I'm not sure who's down. It looks like one of the linemen for the Stingrays, James Taylor, giving them a bit of support. The Rhinos wise enough to take their team huddle away from the camera here in the second half. So, a bit of an injury time here. It looks like we might be in for a bit of an extended one, as the Stingray is looked after. Don't know who's about to be taken up, and it's number 78. As Anthony Durrell is helped to his feet. And he's walked off the field under the help of his fellow lineman, Dale Stanley. I think also Valepi, no, that's number 55, and Calvin Simona helping him off the field, so they'll have to try and find a substitute for him. That'll be on offensive line Adam Bolton to work out. But in the meantime, it's Rhinos ball again. First down and 10 are Rhinos. And they're going to go back to Gates. Gates has been nothing but productive today. Gets another solid carry there on first down. Almost 4 yards on that first down carry. James Cowlishaw picked up an injury on that last play. He'll make his way to the sideline. I'd be surprised to see, well, I was going to say Timmy Reynolds step in and play some tight end now for Cowlishaw, but it might actually be Verbakel stepping in at the tight end position. Timmy Reynolds will stay on the offensive line.
Let's go on! Let's go on!
Nope. Cheyenne James will go to a 4 wide set. Verbakel to play out wide. And there'll be another give to Gates. Gates trucks forward for another good chunk of yardage, and a medic is called for immediately afterwards. I think it might be another Stingray. That it is. It's back-to-back players as the Stingrays' injuries start to mount up a little bit here, and we've still got a quarter and a half to play here. We might take a short break ourselves as the injured player gets a bit of attention. And we're back on third down and short. Gwynner under pressure there, and he'll be taken down from Malloy, who seems to have his fingerprints over all the big plays for this Stingrays defense. No, check that first down here. I thought he was stopped short. He's done enough. Quarterback on quarterback then. Just imagine if a situation in the NFL where quarterbacks had to play both ways, how differently they would handle that. Imagine Tom Brady suiting up at strong safety. Aaron Rodgers out of cornerback. It'll be a whole new dimension to the game. Anyway, enough of that. 14-7. Edging towards the middle of the third quarter. 14-7 in favour of the Rhinos, who are on offense as I speak. Gwynner on first down will give to Gates, the workhorse. He's got plenty of space on the left-hand side. Climbs a staircase outside and gets it past the 50 and runs it out of bounds. Another huge chunk of yardage there for Jeremiah Gates.
Just straight after this game.
Just the Bears officials just getting the official team sheets into me. 7-14. Ball now in Stingray territory, thanks to that man, Jeremiah Gates. He was a bullfrog and also a damn good ball carrier. Now he's used as a receiver, won't throw to him though. They'll find Shanks on the slant over the middle. He surrenders himself, but not before getting past the 30 and inside the 30, I should say, to the 29. And I'll tell you what, some of these kids in GQ here in 2019, all across the divisions, you've got many of them in this game though. Shanks, Paludan, Hearn not playing today though, but they are resetting the standard and the expectation for the youth, or at least the Colt division of where you can achieve here, and the fact that you can play up and contribute, not only as players but starters in the men's division. Another give to Gates, Malloy on the stop. That was 4 yards on the carry there from Jeremiah Gates. Ball now at the 27. Josh Kent now on the field, left slot. The vehicle moves in tight. What have they got a flag on? A delay of game. Couldn't get set in time. That last shift just taking them a bit too long there. That'll move them back another 5. Now we've got second and double sticks. About a yard and a half behind the original line of scrimmage. Stingrays relying on speed off the edge to get the job done. Gwynner with 3 receivers out to his left, but he'll run speed option to the right with Gates. And Gates and Malloy collide again. Malloy does not care about the weight difference. He's come to bang. Gates might come off for a much needed breather now. And don't really have a backup running back. Most of the time the Rhinos, they've either moved to 5 wide or chuck some sort of tight end wide receiver combination there. But Sam Matauti has now come into the game. What position we're yet to see. Looks like he'll be lining up at tailback. Matauti, number 8, usual middle linebacker, Australian defensive end, is now playing some running back. Will be used to pass protect. Gwynner wants the end zone, looking for James at the back of the end zone. He's got too much pepper on that pass. And that'll bring up 4th down. And Gwynner's thrown that ball beyond the fences. Ball's now on the 24 following that incomplete pass. 4th down. They'll need just underneath, just less than 5 yards to sustain this drive. On 4th down, Gwynner's taken it himself. He converted it last time. I don't think he's got enough this time, and we'll see a change of personnel. The two teams are trading turnovers on downs here to start the 3rd quarter. So 2 turnovers on downs for the Rhinos. Here in the 3rd quarter, a punt from the Stingrays. Halftime score unchanged, 14-7. Last team to score was the Stingrays. Malloy trying to level their score, getting Jonah Gardner back in this game. The Rhinos have done a great job on him so far. Once again, forcing those backs to do the maximum amount of effort for every yard they get this evening. Ball just outside the 29 now. Spread formation out wide as Hataya. Malloy will keep it. Trying to bounce to the outside. Shakes a couple defenders. Can't shake the tackle of Kappa. Rolls him to the ground, but that'll make it... No, it's enough for a first down. I thought he would have been just short. First down and 10. Ball is now on the Stingrays 36 on first down. Malloy. She's got James Hobby in the left slot and Carroll outside him. But he'll pump to the open side of the field before trying to take it himself. At risk of the ball getting stripped there as he got stood up in that tackle. Gets up just past the line of scrimmage for a yard, maybe a yard and a half. And might be starting to take it out of Malloy there. Helped out, but not only his teammate, but the white hat official. Quite surprised the Logan City staff haven't turned the lights on here at Hyde Park. Malloy, same formation, very few changes here, and that's batted down at the line by Akeem Allen. And Miami Ohio product, the 4-year starter. Getting his big mid in the way there to set up 3rd and long. They'll need 7. Malloy has run every time he's needed a long 3rd down situation so far, and it's a short pass intended for Paludan. Almost intercepted. Incomplete. Flags down though at the line of scrimmage. The Bears now going through their warm-ups, getting ready for 7 o'clock against the Griffith Uni Thunder. A bit of a grudge match, I will proceed. A bit of chat being thrown over the old internets. Plenty of former Thunder players being used to bring the Logan City program back to life. And for Bakel, I think number 80, was called offside. I haven't seen him on defense so far today. And that'll keep this drive, well, I won't say alive, but it'll give him another opportunity to convert here. An easier opportunity at that, with the 5-yard penalty being enforced. Now got 3rd and 4. A short 4-2, just 3.5 perhaps. Malloy under pressure from Matautia, gets the ball away and into the hands of Henrik Walters. They've been testing him all day. He's been beaten a couple of times, but now he gets a measure of revenge of picking this pass off. Now the Stingrays are trying to strip the ball off him. A takeaway on a takeaway. It's a possibility here. I'm seeing Rhino ball here, so you don't see the pick there, but we see the Stingrays desperately trying to get the ball back there. Napier, the key man on that play, but the important result is that the Rhinos grab the pick, and those lights come on here at Hyde Park, and geez, they light up real quick. And the Rhinos take over. The second intercept of the day from either of these teams. This time the Rhinos are claiming their first takeaway. Two turnovers on down. This is coming out of the break. And Gwynna taken down for a sack, a loss of 2. Tonga Kilo grabbing his first sack of the day. Rhinos trying to lock up top spot here. 14-7 leading as we approach the back end of the third quarter. Gwynna Gives it to Gates, bouncing it to the left now. It's to cut back to the middle, and Tonga Kilo and company shut that run down behind the line of scrimmage. This will be 3rd and long. A loss of 1, maybe 2 on that Gates carry. And I said the back end of the 3rd quarter. It was the real back end of the 3rd quarter, moving into quarter number 4, and at the end of 3, we have an unchanged score here. As I get my personal, agreed contracted 1 face shot for the day. End of 3, 14-7 here, unchanged score from halftime. The touchdown scores so far still Gwinner, Shanks through the air, and we've got a touchdown to Dylan Napier for the Stingrays for the 14-7. There are the injured and injured players and the staff of the Logan City Bears. Jai Churchill there, one of the key guys are getting the Logan City program back up and running. Injured Christian Arnold there. And a couple more of the coaching staff, and that's Arnold Amanda, who was supposed to take over at quarterback. But immediately as he did, broke his scapula. So, bad news for Christian Arnold. 4th quarter now, 7-14. Less and less likely is it looking like the Stingrays will grab that 21-point win they need over the Rhinos to claim 1st place. But an opportunity with a win here to at least take 2nd and put themselves in a slightly safer position against the Bayside Ravens should the playoffs, dare I say it, come down to some crazy weather and an early stoppage. Not usually unnecessary, but always nice to know should those clouds come looming at Sunshine Coast a week from now. Shovel pass here to Gates, well sold there by Gwinner. It's good enough to pick up 5-6 yards. Oh, gave him too much credit there. Gain of 4, 6 yards on that 2nd down, despite Mr. Down marker failing to change the downs. Someone will notice eventually, right? Well, if anyone's knowing, it is 2nd down, despite what the down marker says. Winner drops back from the pistol, looking downfield, throws to the sideline, looking for Shanks. Just out of his range there, off the fingertips, it flies incomplete, and oh no, it was 4th down. I wasn't keeping track. My apologies, viewers. I thought the down counter hadn't changed. We got another turnover and downs. The Rhinos offense, I don't know what changes the Stingrays have made in this 2nd half, but right now that's 3 turnovers on down. 3 unfinished drives for the Rhinos here, unable to get even in field goal range to give Price an opportunity. All right, now the Stingrays are led by Damien Malloy back on the field. Their last possession ending in an intercept. 1st down and 10. Can't confirm that. Napier, he's back and he's got 3, 4, fighting for 5 yards. The official might have given it to him. Good 5-yard gain on that catch.
We're getting a great start and we're just stalling. We've got to stay hungry.
Maybe even make it 6, 2nd and 4.
Get your fucking breath, make sure everybody knows what they're doing. But as soon as you break that huddle, to the line, on the ball, let's fucking go. Right now, you boys are
Malloy trips right. Play action pass, a pass to Paludan. Paludan grabs it but can't do anything with it. That has been the story of his day today. They've used him on a number of screens and short passes, but hasn't been able to make anything happen. Cheyenne James bear hugging him to the turf there on that 2nd down catch. We've got 3rd and long now, looking at 3rd and 6. Stingrays that need to get this past the 48. Oh, fake to the screen, now setting up, downfield to Paludan. Oh, what a catch there from Jaden Paludan. It'll be interesting to see if they mark this a catch on replay. I think it might reveal that the ground aided it just a little bit from based on where the sideline official was. I don't think he would have seen the tip of that football hit the turf. Flags down, back at the line of scrimmage, and it's holding on the offense. It will be irrelevant. You're seeing on replay now the albeit impressive catch there, and you can just see the tip of the football aided on the ground. Again, irrelevant because there is holding on the Stingrays. So that would have been a catch had there not been a holding call, and we would have seen an irate Rhinos sideline. Instead, we've got a 3rd and 15. The target is still obviously the 48. And now we've got a false start to make the job even more difficult. Tack on another 5, 20 yards now. The assignment for the Stingrays. Very few plays in the playbook for 3rd, and don't even worry about it. Malloy will roll to his left, his non-throwing side, and the Rhinos don't even let them get a pass off there. Malloy taken down for a sack. I think Terry O'Neill was there to take Malloy down. So 4th down, they'll send Perkins, who's been punting well today. He'll try to punt them out of trouble here. Both these defense dominating the 3rd quarter, or sorry, say the 2nd half, really into the 4th now. And this will be a good opportunity for Cheyenne James to try and do some damage from the punt return. He's got plenty of room to operate. It's the only returner back there. It'll go to him, catches it on the full, keeps his knees off the ground, fielded it at the 43. He's got plenty of space to the left-hand side. Lyman and Napier there to beat, and now the rest of the troops come through. Taylor's one of those. It's a great punt return there from Cheyenne James, but flags are down at the 39. As you can see, gets past quite a few. Eventually, he is nicked up a little bit there by Charles Vailapu, by mistaken for a Colt playing up. Couldn't have been further from the truth. Not saying he's old, but he's certainly not a Colt. Paladin. Sorry, not Paladin. Number 85 for the Rhinos. Not on my team list. If there is one, I think that might have been 25 Kent, perhaps. Pinged for a block in the back, so that'll nullify most of this return. They're actually back all the way at the 49 yard inside their own territory. Low snap. Gwynner can't handle it. He just has to dive on this one. Claiming him unnecessarily there is the number 7 in Tristan Bourgeois. And that'll put them here on a hole, in a hole on 2nd down. Original line of scrimmage is at the 49. New line of scrimmage is back at the 38. 11-yard loss on that bad snap. Snap's good this time. He'll go for Gates as outlet man, beats the DB and Perkins, and eventually gets it 4 yards past the original line of scrimmage. Legisham thought he might have had a fumble recovery there. The knee was down, and that's a good gain there to grab a lot of yardage back on 2nd down. Ball now a yard into Stingray territory. Ball on the 49. Looking at just under 7 yards to get to convert here on third down. And now we've got a medic being called over to the Stingray sideline. McAlpine just thrown a helmet in frustration. Clearly not happy with something. Well, a brief intermission here as the field medic gets to the visiting sidelines. Well, the visiting sideline. Quite ironically, the Gold Coast probably closer here than the Brisbane, closer to Logan than the Brisbane Rhinos are. Gwinner in the pistol with Gates. Deep drop. Malloy wants to pressure him. He escapes the pressure, rolls to his right and gets it to Cheyenne James. Good stiff arm there at the 30 and tries to hurdle again. Upended. And it's a great gain that gets him inside the 30. Looking at the 37. Flags are down though around the 46. Second half, a real scrappy affair dominated by defense, but discipline really starting to go to the wayside for these two teams. And J.M. James loves a hurdle. Bergerois was called for being offside, but naturally these Rhinos will decline that penalty, take the result of the play, and that'll set them up just inside the 30. Not quite the 29, about halfway in between. Shanks is in the slot. Plenty of space to move, but it'll be a give to Gates. He's taken down. Hasn't quite busted out one of those long runs that he littered the first and second quarters with. But doing enough to keep this clock chugging along. I'm not sure when we're inside the 5s. I'm not sure when the clock will be able to be stopped for running out of bounds. But right now, the Rhinos doing a good job. Trusting their defense here to handle the job. Couple of turnovers and downs. Haven't been able to put any points on the board here in the second half, but haven't turned the ball over in bad field position either. Cheyenne James towards the near side sideline. Kent in motion, and another carry here, but it's Gwinner keeping it. He gets a great block by Kent. Now he's looking for the pylon, but will take it out of bounds around the 5. What a block from Kent. And now we've got Damian Malloy down. And flags being thrown extremely late. Not sure what for. I think Subam or Subam got completely flipped on that play. So Malloy is still down, and to tell you what, his body has copped a lot of hits, and every time at this point of the season, whether he admits it or not, he starts feeling it, and he fights through it more often than not. And Kanan Tompkins might have to jump on the field to take the signal calling duties for the second week in a row. Just look at 25 here, Kent. Come here, realizing that his quarterback is coming out for the run, and you'll just see it come into frame now, right there. That reminds me of, dare I say it, the Mighty Ducks, with a bit of a hip check. But I think they're questioning the legality of the block there, especially given Glasson being pinned for one earlier, and that will be the case. Despite me bigging it up for how spectacular it looked, it is against the rules. No longer can you block downfield below the waist. That all stuff All that stuff is kept inside the box, which they're deeming Kent was not inside of. Malloy will be carried off to the applaud of his sideline there. And it's 2 weeks now, he hasn't been able to finish the game, but you can understand why. So Tompkins, once the Stingrays offense is brought onto the field, will get his chin strap locked up and his throwing arm warmed up, as this will be his offense for now. So Gwinner, his run, there's a couple of his runs today, will be nullified. He took that inside the 5, and now this run finds itself, well, this drive finds itself back at the 41, sorry. Two by two spread, and Shanks now in motion. And they'll run the opposite side of that motion, and Gates keeps doing his thing. Plenty of tired bodies now, and some of these bodies, the time it takes them to get up is getting longer and longer as this game progresses. That was almost a 10-yard gain on that carry there from Gates. It'll be third down now. 12 yards to go. The ball's at the 31. Lagerstrom's down for the Stingrays. Is that a busy day? Going sideline to sideline for the men from GC. So 3rd and 12 now, looks more like 3rd and 13. 4 wide receivers, and now Shanks again with the same motion to the right side of the field. They won't run out of it this time. They'll set up a screen to Gates. Gates won't have the blockers in front of him though, and it'll be taken down from behind. Lance Tongakilo making the tackle. They'll bring up a 4th down, and the Rhinos might go 4 straight drives without points here in the second half. Gwinner under pressure now will run himself again, trying to beat Perkins. That he does. Again, moving to the sideline and knocked out of bounds, and actually knocking the tackler to the turf at the end of the run outside of the lines. He's officially marked out at the 11. Is that Kent again leaving someone on the turf on a quarterback run? Who says quarterbacks aren't tough? Three receivers out to the right-hand side of the field, the open side, and Gwinner will keep it again after selling it, and he will beat Jamal Sinapati with a spin move to finally add some points here in the second half, and it's Gwinner with his second rushing touchdown of the game. No flags on this one. He takes it out from the 11. And PAT to be taken by Price, who's been perfect for the day, but that snap will take that perfection away. PAT unsuccessful. The score 20-7 for the Brisbane Rhinos, following the Gwinner 11-yard touchdown. So we're probably towards the latter parts of the fourth quarter now, and that touchdown there from Gwinner probably did just enough to seal it there. Rhinos offense hasn't looked great, but it did the job there on that last drive. The Stingrays offense also has looked less than impressive here in the second half. As I said, both these defenses making the right adjustments, and then that job probably gets a bit harder now with Kane and Tompkins trusted to do the job to try and create the upset here in the fourth quarter. A few personnel issues here for the Rhinos on special teams. They've got it right now. Back deep to return for the Stingrays is Gardner, who's had a quiet day, and Reese Perkins. And it looks like this will go out of bounds, so they'll at least gift the Stingrays with some half-decent field position. The Stingrays have actually also been starved of some ball here. Just a one possession in the fourth quarter so far. Had a punt and a pick coming out of the half. This will be their fourth possession. And what's interesting here is we've got two number 4s on the field here. Reese Perkins in number 4, and of course Kanan Tompkins wears number 4 as well. So by my understanding, that can't happen. And that's why Perkins is being sent off the field as we speak with his tail between his legs. I think Perkins might have been asking whether it could happen if he declares, which can happen in the situation where you declare ineligible numbers being eligible, but that's usually to do with linemen. But just the number 4 on the field is Tompkins, who struggles collecting his first snap of the day. He does recover it though, and that'll make it a 2nd and 15. I'll tell you what does get a little more challenging here at Logan City as the games progress and the cleats hit the turf. Dust comes up rising here at Logan City, and if you choose to be outside, you've got to deal with it. Apologies there. Listeners, ball at the 30. 2nd down and 15. It's another catch. So I think Carroll. Carroll brings it in. They've been trying to get the ball to him throughout the game. Third down and 9. On 3rd and 9, Tompkins set to throw, looking for Paladin, but he's picked off there by Calder Shanks. And Shanks, who's got a touchdown today on offense, now has an intercept on defense, throwing a good kick return as well for good measure. And he's had one hell of a day. That is, and shades of the 2014 season, the 2018 junior season there, with Kanan Tompkins being the junior quarterback, being picked off by Calder Shanks. At the playoffs at Sunshine Coast, where Calder Shanks dragged his team to an upset victory over the number 1 ranked Gold Coast Stingrays, quarterbacked by Ken Tompkins. Different jersey, same players. (20-7), the Rhinos with a put-away opportunity here to put it beyond doubt. They've all but locked up the number 1 seed here in 2019. Gates with another impressive carry. Show off a bit of footwork there. Tackled by his opposing running back. And James Taylor is putting in some reps on defense now. Second down and 2. Haven't had a whole lot of second and short situations today, I got to say. Let's see if they use this for an opportunity to call a play action. Nope, they will give it to Gates to keep this clock chugging, and making the tackle there is Bourgeois. That'll make it 3rd and 4. And a timeout. Taken to the Stingrays. That's the first one they've used this game. 2 left remaining in the half. Ryan's offense missing a couple of key players, particularly pass catchers on this offense. They might have struggled to put points up here in the second half, but when some of your first and second string targets are missing, a la Newport and Gervier, does make the job a little harder. Coach Booker, and I was having a couple of brief chats with him leading up to today, he did mention that he'll be keen to see how the guys do low on numbers. Play action pass, looking over the middle, and it's Aaron Verbakel possibly picking up his first touchdown in Rhinos colours. The former Raptor getting in the end zone, running a slant. And I'm sure his lovely partner Nikki is watching from wherever. She was in the States last time I checked, but I think she's back in the country. A great catch there, beating Subim over the middle. Played a number of positions over the last couple of seasons, including quarterback last year for the Raptors. I thought he was going to be playing defense at a bit of a nickel position this year. He's found a bit of a place at wide receiver right now with a couple of injuries. And PAT is up by Price. And PAT is good by Price. 27-7 now here in the final minutes of the fourth quarter for these two teams.
Feel better, Nikki.
What will be interesting here is if they decide to go to the backup at quarterback next offensive possession, if there is an offensive possession here for the Rhinos. And Rolly Dixon was around earlier, but he was there as a wide receiver. I'm actually be wondering if it's one of the young Colts playing at quarterback. Just looking through my team list now to get the name of that, but it will be interesting to see if Gwynner takes a seat and calls it a day here for the regular season. And that's Perkins trying to break a tackle on the right-hand side of the field. Tackle made there by not Timmy Reynolds, sorry, it's Adam Erickson. First down and 10 here. Tompkins looking to shake off the memories of the last drive. 2-minute warning also taking place. 2-minute warning, I believe, just called by the white hat official. So one last drive here for the Gold Coast Stingrays, led by Tompkins. He'll hand this off to Gardner. Gardner with the first bit of space he's seen all evening. And he's taken down from behind by Latautia. That's a solid 13-yard gain. Approximately moves him. Once the down marker stop moving around to the 44 and doesn't find the same amount of space here on the next play. A loss of 3 or 4 on that play. Second and double sticks. They'll give it to Gardner again. Gardner can't find any space again. Rhinos defensive line outstanding this afternoon, along with those linebackers. Ball at the 39. The Stingrays still trying to make something happen here. Looks like they will be finishing their season in 3rd place. Third and long. And they'll give again to Gardner. Gardner working hard to try and grab as many yards as possible. O'Neill trying to strip that ball, and that'll bring 4th, and they'll probably send on a punting team here. The 2 4s will swap places, and Perkins will punt this away, and the Rhinos will get the opportunity to kneel this game out. Or not. They'll forego the punt, and they'll finish this game, and that's the Rhinos with the minor premiership in 2019, finishing the season in #1 position with a 27-7 victory over the Stingrays. These results also mean the Stingrays will finish in 3rd place, the Bayside Ravens in at 2nd, and then at 7 p.m. we will see the fight for 4th place take place between the Griffith Uni Thunder and the Logan City Bears to see who will round out the men's division playoffs. But right now, the top 3 looks like the Brisbane Rhinos, Bayside Ravens, and Gold Coast Stingrays. The second half that featured only 2 touchdowns there towards the back end in the 4th quarter. A Gwinner 11-yard touchdown run, and then Gwinner went back to Verbakel for a 15-yard touchdown towards the back end of the 4th quarter as well. Malloy did not finish. His game was taken off the field, and that will lead into question marks leading into the playoffs. I'm Kenny Andres. Thank you for joining me for this game. I do hope you join us for the 7 o'clock game with the Logan City Bears taking on the Griffith Uni Thunder in what's sure to be a grudge match and a fight for the 4th position here and the 4th and final position of the Gridiron Queensland Men Division playoffs. I'll take a short break for that period, and I'll be back at 7 o'clock.